Welcome to my graphic design journey portfolio. I'd like to start with the piece that is currently behind the cover screen. That's my latest piece that I have made. My sister gifted me my Wacom drawing tablet over the summer because she was going off to college and she didn't want it anymore. I started exploring with Tayasui Sketches, which is a free application on MacBooks. And since it's free, it does not have very many features, but I was having a lot of fun, and these are the pieces that I created with that. The more pieces that I was making, I wanted to become more invested in my drawing digitally, but I wasn't ready to invest in the Adobe Cloud yet because it's quite expensive. So I ended up buying Affinity Design, which was quite an investment. I only ended up making one piece with this because I was having so much fun with this that Miss Jimerson suggested that I do an independent study with Miss Gravel because she is really fluent in digital art. And so after I started working with her, she convinced me to end up getting the Creative Cloud, and with that I got Adobe Illustrator, which has been so much fun. So she started by teaching me how to use the shape tool and how to change colors and just the essentials, and I was not confident to actually draw yet. But as I became more confident, I started practicing with multiple tools, and I started creating my own brushes, like the piece in the upper left. All of those little dots are a brush that I made myself. It was really hard trying to get accustomed to using the tablet, but it ended up being really fun, and I started developing my own style, as you can see in the right two pieces, and it was really fun. So my skills were really pushed because at Hartford I was part of the Future Business Leaders of America group, and for one of our competitions was to have a digital art competition. And for that, we had to create a band and make their logo, a t-shirt, a web header, a bus design, and a set design. And this was such a fun assignment because it really helped me learn more about how marketing and graphic design is connected. I decided to do a children's band because my style is very much for children, and it's very cute and colorful and fun. I got to learn about font for kids and colors that kids like and for specific age groups and things that compel kids, so that was really fun. It really helped accentuate my knowledge of the importance of font and color and text, and I learned so much doing that. Since quarantine started and online learning, I've had a lot more time, so I've started watching different creators such as Zimri Mayfield. Their videos are really fun to watch. Jeremy Mura, he does more of tutorial type videos, and I like going along with him and creating pieces, and that is really helpful for me learning how to use each tool because there are so many features I still don't know how to use. Zimri Mayfield, it's really fun to watch him designing because he does a design every single day because that's his full-time job, and watching him is more about just getting to see the creative process. He doesn't do tutorials, but I do really like watching him create. Here I have a video. I did a time lapse of creating it's called an isotropic scape, and so I set this helped me learn how to use the grid tool and the vector tool, which is like a pen and it makes straight lines, and this was really fun. It was a lot of work, but learning how to use the grid tool was really fun. So as you can see, I did each individual piece, and I also got to work a lot with shapes and perspective, which was really cool. So the angle of the grid is really specific for these isotropic shapes, and it was just really fun to make. It really challenged my skills that I had learned up to this point. Every skill that I have learned so far has been used many times through each of my pieces. I didn't figure that the shape tool would be so important, but I am constantly using the shape tool. So this piece was really fun and really hard to make, but it was worth it because it helped me learn so much. In the bottom left, there's another vector piece. I made it using the vector tool, and this was inspired by Eve Cole because she posted this image of her remaking some of her favorite movie characters. So I did that, but in my own style, and it was really interesting trying to work with color and shape at the same time from not having a reference, but this was pretty fun. So I started creating in Photoshop some painting because I started doing some frame by frame animation, as you can see in the right, and this was really fun. So I started practicing my painting on the left in Photoshop, but I really did not like it because there are not as many fun tools as in Illustrator, but with more practice I think I'll have a lot of fun because I'd like to go into character design one day. So here are some more individual pieces that I made. I started experimenting with my own style, and my penmanship was very much improving, so I had a lot of fun making these. My favorite feature I've discovered so far is Adobe Color, which is sponsored by the Creative Cloud. So it's just hundreds and hundreds of color palettes, so you can search any word and it will come up with many color palettes that would suit whatever word you searched, and I've been using that a lot. So here's some experimenting with typefaces and, like I said, the color palettes. Both of these pieces were really fun. The birds were a new style for me, so I just kind of experimented with that. And then the skull, that was just really fun to make. So here's a comic that I made for my mom on Mother's Day. I've always been really, really inspired by comic books and different styles, and I've been making comics since I was a kid, but doing it digitally was really, really fun, and I really like how it came out. This accentuates my style more. Here's a piece that I was troubleshooting for Dark Side Snowboards. It was really fun, and it was really cool getting to practice using different color palettes and changing colors within the same piece. I've never done that before, and this piece took a really, really long time to make, but it was really fun. The background was pretty hard to make, and I worked with so many different features that I hadn't worked with before now. And here's my final piece. So I said I was going to make a cookbook, but after experimenting so much with comics, I decided to do it in comic book form because I loved it. I decided to do the last page because the ramen is just so pretty. I think that the biggest takeaway from this independent study is that I do want to continue going into the arts. I'd always feared going to art school as my secondary school because people have always said, like, oh, you'll never have a career going through art school. It's just kind of crazy, the idea of just being able to create for the rest of my life and have that be my profession. So I've decided that I do want to go to art school because this has been really, really fun. And I'd like to either go into comic book making because I have so much fun doing that, or maybe even storyboard animation because animation is so cool. The difficulties were that I started doing this as a children's book study, but with the quarantine, I wasn't able to get the resources I was looking for to learn how to write children's books. So I kind of changed it because I wasn't getting fulfilled from the children's book illustrations. So then I turned it into more of a personal exploration and challenging my own skills. And that is all. Thank you.